Good evening, guys, and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So upstairs update, we have got a lot of the walls upstairs all mudded. I think the majority of what they didn't do yet was kind of against one wall. I think some parts of it didn't get done. My mom's office I don't think is done, and the ceiling. But I think from what I can see, my dad's entire office slash closet area, that little slope ceiling space that we ended up finishing out, that is done. It looks like, from what I can tell, even the like slope part of the ceiling, which like they did that, but they didn't do the flat part of the ceiling yet. And then also to the whole like short wall there as well, which it comes up like and then goes to, you know, then it's the pitch. So they finished that whole part, I think, all the way across that whole wall, which is the longest wall in the whole room, that goes for the longest distance between, you know, and it's like I said, it's both the pitch and the flat part. So there's that. And then they also, like I said, I think they did on the inside, and then they did my mom's whole closet. And then I think part of the wall against where we're doing like the book nook space, I think that's done. And then, like I said, I don't know entirely about her office. I wasn't able to like get inside of there. I don't know if I did or not. I don't think, like I said, I think some of the parts aren't done. But what I actually realized was kind of cool. The windowsills, actually, they ended up drywalling the windowsills, which is really cool. So I don't know how long it takes to dry, but like, again, possibly they might be able to finish, like, my thought is they do the other walls that need to be mudded tomorrow, and the ceiling and, you know, all that stuff, and then on Friday they could potentially sand, but I don't know if they're going to be able to sand the ceiling, because like they just done it the day before. So like, again, Thursday they do the ceiling, they might not be able to sand it on Friday because it might not be dry, but like it doesn't really seem entirely like it's wet still or like anything like that. But again, too, I am no like I said, they did it earlier today, so, and I am no expert in, you know, drywalling or anything like that. So possibly, like I said, they might be able to do all of the sanding tomorrow or on Friday, or like, again, too, maybe on Saturday, something like that. You know, like I said, would be kind of cool. Again, too, my dad was saying, even like if they can get it all done this weekend, we could paint, which would be so super cool. But even if not, and like, again, too, they don't end up coming over the weekends, like Monday they'd finish, we'd still probably be done again by, you know, at the latest probably early next week, that they'd be finished up with everything. But again, too, it just depends on how long it's going to take everything to dry and stuff like that. So that is super cool, super awesome. Like I said, we're just, you know, again, a couple more steps away. Like now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see it. The room, it looks done. It looks finished. It's, you know, like I said, there's certain parts of it that looks like that, you know, but again, it's just, it's super awesome. It's super cool. I'm loving that. Like I said, it's getting all done and kind of finished and everything. So anyways, though, so like I said, that got done today, which was awesome. And then on top of that, too, I was waiting for a package that was going to be delivered. And it's funny, I ordered something from Target, and it was supposed to be here on Thursday, it said. I think I placed the order on maybe Sunday, or maybe it was Monday. I think I placed the order. And it said it was supposed to be here by Thursday. And what I will say I love about Target, at least, because as far as shipping goes and stuff like that, it has always been, I don't order a lot from Target. But compared to Amazon, I've noticed whenever I order from Target, they tend to tell you that things will take a little bit longer. So again, too, like for example, they told me it'll be here on Thursday. Well, I got a text message, or, you know, like a message in the app or whatever, that said yesterday that it was out for delivery like yesterday. Or, you know, that it was like, you know, the shipping label was printed and stuff like that, and that it would be delivered most likely by tomorrow. So on Wednesday instead of on Thursday. So again, too, it was delivered late Wednesday, like late today, later, I guess. But it was still delivered a day earlier than when they said. Now, the thing that I don't like about Amazon is that I feel like they try and make it seem like, oh yeah, like you'll get this thing, you know, like, again, when you order it, you'll get it, you know, within 2 days or 3 days days or something like that, and they'll tell you that instead of just giving you like a brief, like, it'll probably be here between this day and this day. You know, I'd rather have that, and then as it gets closer, like it's been shipped or something like that, it can be here tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow or the following day or whatever. That way at least I have a frame of reference, instead of like with Amazon. I have noticed this has happened, not all the time, but it's happened with a couple of my recent purchases as well, where they'll say like, oh, it'll be delivered on Wednesday, and then it doesn't show up until Thursday, instead of telling me like it'll be delivered on Thursday, and if it shows up on Wednesday, it's awesome and it's a surprise and it's earlier, and then that makes me feel better than when it was actually supposed to be delivered. You know, so like maybe that was the whole thing too. Target knew kind of like most likely it'll be delivered to on Wednesday, but we'll just say it's going to be Thursday, so that if there is a delay or something like that, it doesn't, you know, like they're not waiting for it and then it's not here. Like I said, I've had that happen where Amazon will tell me, again too, I bought something just recently from there and they were like, oh, it'll be here on Tuesday. So I'm waiting all day on Tuesday. Then like Tuesday night rolls around and it doesn't end up like changing in the app, you know, because I keep looking. I'm like, okay, I make sure that I go and pick it up, you know, and get it when it comes. And so, you know, to make sure I go outside, and so it's not sitting out there or anything like that. So I go to, you know, again, you know, and I'm waiting around, you know, like that kind of thing. Like today too, I was waiting for the package because I wanted to bring it in when it came, because it was a little rainy outside. And again too, we do have like a covered porch, but like for, again, reasons like that, and you know, again, things like that, sometimes you do want to be aware and be able to get the purchase, you know, or you know, your items or whatever, as soon as you end up, you know, they get delivered to the house, so that they're not sitting outside. You don't want somebody taking them. You don't want, again, something to happen to them. You don't want to find out they got delivered to the wrong house and then not be able to, again, to find out from a neighbor or something like that, you know, like, oh, I think something might have gotten delivered to your house on accident, you know, something along those lines, like, you know, or again too, it's sitting out in the rain, whatever. Like, so sometimes you just sit and you wait. Like that was what I was doing. So I actually ended up making zucchini bread today because I was just bored and just waiting around for my packages to come. So I ended up making 2 loaves of zucchini bread, which Jack almost ate like half of a loaf already. He was like, oh, you made zucchini bread? And it was funny too, because I made so much zucchini bread last year that by like the last couple batches, everybody was starting to get sick of it. So I'm super happy that Jack was loving the zucchini bread I ended up making today. It's just, it takes such a long process to, you know, to shred the zucchini, and I use the food processor, but it still just takes a long time to like de-seed. Like I take all the seeds out of my zucchini and stuff like that. Like it just takes a long time. So that's why to make 2 loaves, it probably took me like, I mean, the baking time took an hour, which I didn't do anything with. I just put it in the oven and then came and checked on it, and it needed about 10 more minutes. So I put it in for 10 more minutes and it was good and it was done. So it was like an hour and 10 minutes, but I didn't do anything during that time. To prepare the zucchini and to prepare all the other ingredients, it took me probably over an hour and a half to do, which, like I said, for 2 measly loaves of zucchini bread that taste pretty decent, it's like, it's not worth it. I just don't like having to, like I said, tend to the zucchini so much. I will say I don't know if it necessarily took an hour and a half, because I was also up making like soup, because I made chicken noodle soup from the leftover chicken that I ended up cooking. I cooked a whole chicken on Tuesday, I think it was, or no, wait, today's Wednesday. I cooked it on Monday, and I cooked the whole chicken, and then I ended up making the broth, and then made, you know, the soup today, and so we ended up doing chicken noodle soup for dinner tonight. So I know I was in the kitchen for a little while before that, but like I was in there for multiple hours. Like it was pretty much from, I think actually before or right when Jack and my dad left for football practice until they got home, and they were gone for about 3 hours. So actually I think it was longer than that. I was still in the kitchen when Jack got home at about 6 o'clock, and they left at 3 o'clock. And then and he got home a little bit earlier than that because he had a class that starts at 6 o'clock, so he has to come home about 15 minutes early. So he was, like I said, home for that, and then my dad had a chiropractor appointment after that, so he stayed for the whole football practice up until 6 o'clock. Then, like I said, after that, like 6:15, it was his chiropractor appointment. He ended up going to that. Probably didn't get home until about 6:30. So I know I was in the kitchen for like over 3 hours. And like I said, I was between cooking the soup, making the zucchini bread, cleaning up the kitchen in general too. Like I was doing dishes and stuff like that. I was in the kitchen for like 3 hours, also waiting on my packages to come too. But the bread was done, I think, around 7 o'clock. So again, it probably probably took me about 2 hours to make the zucchini bread is my math. Like trying to do that, kind of like the timetables of how everything ended up turning out. I think it took me about 2 hours almost to make the zucchini bread. Like I said, based on how long I was in the kitchen for and what else I was doing, like that seems about right. So like I said, it was a long process, and that's why I don't like making it. I don't mind if I have like, you know, help, or if like I do the zucchini, like shred the zucchini earlier in the day and then let it sit and like drain, because like that's one of the more difficult things is having to drain all of the juice out of the zucchini, because you don't want it to be super moist, and then it can also turn your bread into basically soup. So whereas I think this is actually a perfect consistency. After the 10 minutes, the extra that I needed to add, like sometimes if it's too moist, it'll take hours to make, and then it will just start to burn because the outside's cooked but the inside is still super mushy because it was so liquidy. So like I said, you really have to make sure you drain off a lot of that extra zucchini like juice, and they're very juicy, which makes it really nice for making zucchini bread, but again too, not so good if you're trying to make sure that you don't want too much extra liquid too. Though if I like shred the zucchini earlier in the day and then kind of let it sit in the strainer for most of the day until it kind of runs off, and like I said, the juices kind of run off, then it's a little bit easier, and I should have maybe done that beforehand. But again too, having to do that and then like I said, you know, drain all of the liquid out of it and everything, it just took a really long time. So again, I don't look forward to doing that or have to make the zucchini when it comes to, like I said, the whole process in general, but like just the actual like throwing the ingredients together does not take that long. It's more or less the shredding of the zucchini that takes the longest. So anyways though, my packages did end up coming, and they came, like I said, a whole day earlier than they said they were going to, which is a surprise, and I like that. Versus, like I said, Amazon, it seems like they try and tell you that, like, oh, you know, you'll get your packages in 2 days or whatever. Oh, if you know, make your purchase, because I think that's what it was. It was supposed to be like standard 2-day shipping or 3-day shipping, whatever it is. But they were like, oh, if you make your purchase before this time, it'll come, I think it was tomorrow. And I was like, really? You're gonna make and, you know, like ship my package literally by tomorrow, and it's gonna get here by tomorrow? I was like, there's no way. And I think that's what it was. But like, again, too, their big thing was like, oh, you know, if you make the purchase at, you know, before this time, you know, the package will be shipped to you by, you know, again, the next day or whatever. And I was like, you know, and it was still like free standard Prime shipping and everything like that, and I was like, okay. So I was like, sure. You know, like kind of definitely not thinking that was how it was really going to go down, and it wasn't. It came, I think, the following day after that, which was the standard like 2-day shipping. But they were trying to like hook me into getting me to buy it, and then even too, like once I did, it would say in my purchase history it was like delivered, you know, being delivered by tomorrow or whatever. And it wasn't until like the end of the day, that day, that it finally updated and said, oh no, it won't be here until the following day. And I was like, really? Because I was like, I figured that's what it was going to be. I like that Target keeps things real, and they're like, we'll probably get it to you by the latest this day, but it might still come a day early. Like I said, I've always had really, I want to say good luck, but like I've always been very much more impressed with Target's like shipping than I have with Amazon. And the thing is too, is that Amazon has their own delivery drivers. Like normally when I've ordered things through Target, it gets shipped through FedEx, and so again too, that's like dealing with a whole nother thing, you know, whereas like Amazon are their own delivery crew. So like again too, you'd think that things would be a little bit more like adjusted better for time, and at least telling the customer, I don't care when my things get delivered. I don't care if it takes weeks, unless it's something I really need. But like, I literally don't care. I just want to know so that I can be prepared to get the package. Like, that's my biggest thing. And like, let me know, like keep me updated. Like if you're, you know, again, if they're like, ah, this isn't probably going to get delivered until this time, like, you know, that kind of thing, and not have me waiting around literally all day to then finally find out it's not going to be delivered until the next day. Like, I think it honestly didn't tell me until like 10 o'clock at night it wasn't going to be delivered until the next day. I was like, really? Because you had 2 hours left before you could tell me that it wasn't going to be delivered for the last 2 hours of today, you know, like that kind of thing. And again too, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about it or anything like that, because I do like, again too, and I know Amazon, they're like, you know, again, delivering everything all the time. And, you know, like I said, they've got tons of delivery crews and stuff like that out there. It's just, I love just, again too, just a little bit like, again, if you're like, probably be delivered on this day, just like estimate an extra day and give that extra cushion, because I really don't care what day it gets delivered. I just want to know more accurately, like, you know, again, to the time, you know, like time frame of when it will be delivered, if it happens to be later than that, you know. And again, too, like for me, that's not a big deal, but I feel like it's like, oh, we have to keep people happy and tell them it's going to be 2 days or, you know, a day or whatever and stuff like that, when I don't need that. Like, tell me it's going to take a week and then I'll be happy when I get it in 2 days. You know, like that kind of thing. Just keep me updated though, so I also know my package is going to be here, you know, again too, when they're like, oh, it's out for delivery. Okay, well that's awesome. Now I know to be paying attention and check to see when it's going to be delivered. So like I said, I'm not always real happy with like that kind of stuff. And it was the same thing with my mattress too. I think it, like, they shipped it through FedEx, but it was like not, I think it said it ships within 2 to 3 business days or something like that. And I didn't buy it on the weekend, but it ended up coming on Saturday, I think. And like from when I bought it, which I want to say was like on a Sunday or maybe a Monday or something like that. But then like they were also supposed to have sent me an email and or a text message. I never got any of that. I had to go into like the website and keep track of it through like the like shipping tracker. And again too, it was because I didn't want to sit outside in the rain, because it was raining that day as well. And the thing was too, they also delivered it to the side door, which is not under our covered front porch. And so it was actually sitting in the rain, because again too, I didn't know it was actually being delivered. But thankfully it was only sitting out there for like maybe 20 minutes, I think, or maybe even less than that. Because I don't think it was raining out at that time. And my dad and Jack were actually trying to get the lawnmower fixed, and they saw it get delivered. And then once they got the lawnmower fixed, they brought it inside. So I think at the time though, it was not raining, but it was raining earlier that day. So like I said, like that's the kind of stuff, like again to just keep the customer informed. And like I said too, if you have to overestimate, then again too, they'll be happy when they get their things early. So I know I'm going on a complete you know, rant here about shipping, but like again too, that's my only thing. And that's why I do not order a lot of things online. I prefer to go to stores and pick them up. But there's certain things, like again to the mattress, and you know, like I said, some things that I can't order you know, on, or I can't get pick up all the time in stores. We can't transport them, you know, we don't have a truck. We can't get certain things to and from our house, you know, from the store. Like that kind of stuff. So sometimes some things do need to be delivered, and sometimes too they have online deals that you can't get in stores, which was I think one of the Target deals I ended up doing. So that's why again they, you know, there's sometimes where I do need to take advantage of sometimes the online stuff, or again things that you can't get in stores or whatever. But like I said, I'm the type of person that prefers brick and mortar over shipping and online deliveries and all that kind of stuff. Like I know if I picked it up and bought it at the store, it's gonna make it from point A to point B, whereas shipping is like, oh yeah, now it got, you know, we're detoured and we're over here, like, you know, like, and it's gonna take an extra 3 days and we didn't tell you that originally, and all that kind of stuff. Like if I know I need it, or again too, at least I know I have it, you know, that kind of stuff, I prefer it. And also too, there's a whole nother thing, clothes shopping. I don't think I've almost ever bought clothes, hardly ever online, because I need to know like how it's going to fit, how is it going to feel, how is it, you know, like how does it look on me, do I actually like the color? Because again too, things that look one color online, you get it and it looks completely different than when it actually gets delivered. Or again too, how it looks on you, you know, like that whole kind of thing. I never, almost ever have ever bought clothes online, like very, very rarely. And again too, depending on what store you're going with, the sizes all fit differently too. Even if you're like, this is definitely my size, still might not be, just because of different stores and their sizes and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I'm going to take a shower and get to bed. I will see you guys though in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.